Hi guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel. I just want to start off by saying that I have not filmed a video in a really long time. So to all of you who have watched my other videos, liked any of them, subscribed to my channel, that is really amazing of you and I really appreciate that, and I am going to be back on the bandwagon and I have a lot of really great ideas that I want to do, a lot of tutorials and things like that. So I'm just going to jump right back in and hopefully get a couple videos up a week, maybe more. I just want to throw some content out there. So thank you guys for watching and let's just get into it. So the video that I'm doing right now is a February favorites. So I have 10 items here. It's a mix of drugstore and high-end, and yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation. I have two of them, Warm 3 and Neutral 3.5. I think the Warm 3 will fit me a little bit better, but I haven't used it yet. I've mostly been using the Neutral 3.5, but it is about half a shade too dark for me. So these retail for about $14 to $16 depending on where you get them. You can get it at any drugstore, supermarket, places like that. And these are just really great travel-friendly foundations. If you don't know what a cushion foundation is, it's basically a liquid foundation that is immersed in a sponge. So you have your little sponge applicator here that you can basically put your fingers through and then dab the foundation on. And when I tap into the foundation here with my finger, you can see that it comes off on my finger. So I have it here rubbed into the back of my hand. It is a nice light coverage. You can build it up to like a light medium, but it is something that's a little lighter, easier to use on the go for touch-ups and things like that. Yeah, I've basically used this every time that I've been in a hurry or just a bit lazy to do makeup, because it takes about like 30 to 60 seconds to apply, and your skin tone is really nice and evened out and you just feel a little bit more put together. It is a part of the True Match line from L'Oreal, so you do have a really good shade selection. You have about, I'd say 4 to 5 colors, I think, for each undertone. So you do have a lot of different colors to work with. And yeah, I just think it's a really great foundation. It is a Lumi one, so it's not a matte finish. It's more of a natural finish. It's not luminous. So I think even if you are a bit oily, you could definitely use this. You might just want to set it with a powder. I'm really loving this foundation. I'm not wearing it right now, but anytime I am in a hurry or on the go, I always gravitate towards this. So the second item that I want to talk about is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara. It comes in this really cool sort of geometric looking black tube, and when you open it up, the mascara is a nice hourglass sort of shape. I really started loving it about like 3 times after I had used it, so about the 4th time that I used the mascara, I really fell in love with it. I feel like once the product dried out just a smidgen, then I really got length and volume and separation from it, like amazing. It really is one of the only mascaras I've ever used that makes it look like I have like lash inserts or like a few individual lashes added, because my lashes are just so long and feathery with it. There's not much I can say except that this is just really amazing. And to sort of compare it, it's quite like the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. That's my other like top favorite high-end mascara of all time. They do just really separate your lashes while still giving them length and volume. So I really highly recommend this if you're looking for a high-end one. So the third item I want to talk about is the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. That is a long name. So I have this in 08 Palmier. I was going to get it in the one shade lighter custard because I wear custard in the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, but they didn't have it, so I just got this. And this is actually lighter than the custard from Nars, so I think if you're sort of basing it off of you use custard, so buy custard, the Sephora brand runs a little lighter. So it is more of a creamy sort of consistency to it, but it's one of the only concealers I've ever used that doesn't crease under the eyes. So a lot of days, especially when I use like my Lumi cushion, I don't set my face with a powder. I just put a bit of concealer, the Lumi cushion, a bit of mascara, lip gloss, and then I'm like out the door. And this does not crease whatsoever under my eyes. It looks like this. It is a sort of like rounded doe foot applicator, but the one thing you want to keep in mind that I didn't realize when I first bought this is that it's not a concealer that you rub like this. You actually dot it like that. So all the product is actually held on the very tip of it, and when you use it, you just dot it like that around the eyes, anywhere you want to conceal. It looks like this rubbed out on the back of my hand. It has a lot of coverage. It's quite opaque actually, without ever feeling like there's concealer on your face. So like with the Nars one, I can sometimes feel it. I feel like it can sort of settle into my fine lines. If I use a little too much of it, it can crease. This just really doesn't do that for me, and sometimes I've put way too much on, and I feel like you can really blend it out, and it covers up any discoloration, acne, anything like that, without ever bunching up on the face. I highly recommend this. Just as I said, keep in mind that you dot it on, because that was one thing for me. I kept dipping it back into product and I kept swiping it, and I was like, where the hell is all the product? There's nothing. So just remember to dot it. That is my advice to you. So this retails, I don't know if I said this, but this retails for I think $14 at Sephora, and it has about 25 shades, I believe. So it is a awesome color selection for such a great price, and I have completely replaced my Nars with this, so that is saying a lot. So that is 3 items down. So the next item is going to be, well, I'll talk about 2 of them at the same time. These are both from L'Oreal, and these are a part of the Brow Stylist line. So these are the Brow Stylist definers, and they are basically a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz. You have your pencil on this end, and it's a retractable pencil like this, and then you have your little spoolie on the other end. So I have 2 shades. This is dark brunette, and the other one I have is brunette. I've used this on my brows today, and the dark brunette I use basically on the tail, and then I use brunette on the first half of my brows. It looks like this on, or when you draw it on, it's a nice fine line. It's the best brow pencil I have ever seen from the drugstore. I love that it's a twist up one. There's not a ton of these in the drugstore, so it gives you a really fine point. So there's only 2 negatives, I'd say, with these pencils, or at least things to be aware of. The shade range is obviously a lot smaller than the Anastasia one. With the Anastasia one, I think you have about 8 shades. These, you only have blonde, brunette, and dark brunette, so if you don't fit into one of the 3 colors, you're sort of screwed in that sense. The only other negative is that they are quite soft. They are definitely a lot softer than the Brow Wizzes, so you have to use a really light hand, and I find that I have to sort of brush through it a little more to help it blend, because if you like use a hard hand or you just go in, it is definitely way too soft and it can get really dark really fast. I still really love them though because of the price point. I feel like with these sort of retractable pencils, I go through them quite fast. So I'm happy that there is an affordable version of it, but I just have to take a little more time to make sure that I'm keeping it really soft. So that's something to be aware of. So the next item, as I said, is the Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal. This is a straight-on dupe for the Benefit's Give Me Brow. It has a very similar little teeny wand inside, and like the Benefit product, the mascara inside of it is a fiber-building mascara or brow gel. So basically, instead of just tinting your brows, this actually creates little fibers that look like you have thicker brows, and it looks like you have more brow hairs than you do. So it actually really helps create that illusion of big, really thick, beautiful brows. It retails, I think, for about $9, and it has 3 shades. So you have a transparent one, and then you have light to medium and medium to dark. I have medium to dark. I use this mostly on the tail of my brows. I actually use a lighter color from Anastasia in the front, but I've used this all over my brow and it works beautifully. It does just make me look like I have super thick, beautiful brows, and for the price point, you really can't beat it. I have absolutely no issues with this. I love the teeny brush, I love the color, and I love the thickness that it gives to my brows. So I highly recommend that. So the next thing is the Nars Ita Brush. This is not new, but it's new to me. I've only used it about 2 or 3 times. I haven't washed it yet. I don't know if it sheds a lot. I know that is an issue that some people have with it, but as far as application goes, I love this brush. I was previously using this e.l.f. complexion brush to contour with, but it's just way too thick. So when you start off, it's already sort of blended out, and it's easy to keep blending it out and making it look muddy. So I love how small and precise this is, because you start off with a really sharp line, and so when you start blending it out, it just blends it out to the exact amount that you want without looking like you're just getting, you know, dirt all over your face. So I just love how precise this is. The way I use it is I just bring it in right here in the contour area, and then turn the brush a little bit up like this, and then start blending it out. So I go in like this and then blend it out. So I sort of use both sides of the brush to make sure it's nice and blended, which I think is really hard for anyone. It's hard to get a good contour, and the Nars Ita does it for me, so I love this brush. Alright, so the next item is again high-end. This is the Marc Jacobs Instamarc Light Filtering Contour Powder. I have mine in number 40 Mirage filter. This is the lightest one. It retails for $49, so it's not cheap, but you do get a lot of product in here. There is 9 grams in each. You have this super big mirror here, so the contour powder is really soft and buttery. It has a slightly ashy undertone, which for me makes it perfect for contouring, and it has such a light fine powder that it's really easy to build up into the intensity that you want, rather than one that's just super pigmented and super dark and you go in and you just stamped a big like stamp of color on your face. This really lets you ease into it, especially with the Ita brush. I feel like I am just loving contouring. The other side is sort of a banana color, a yellow color, which yellow is just going to help brighten. So use it under the eyes, you can use it on your forehead, on the chin. That's where I have it, and it just really helps brighten those areas without using a color that's too light or making it look like you're sort of whitewashed underneath those areas. It just gives you a nice natural brightness. And this is just, it's like putting air on your face. It's just so light, and it really does do its job without being overpowering. So this Mirage filter color for me is just perfect. And I will give you a little swatch. And so there is the contour color, and there's the banana color, if you can see it. It's sort of light. So as you can see, I blended it out so easily, and then the contour color is nice and very subtle. It's not too ashy and it's not too dark. So for me, I have pretty light skin. These colors just work perfectly. So the second to last item I want to talk about is the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Bow and Arrow. This is so hard to get your hands on. It's sold out literally like 98% of the time, but if you can buy it, it is amazing. I am obsessed with it. It is $20 and you can get it at Sephora. I was lucky enough to find mine at the Sephora inside JCPenney, and there was one left, so I was really lucky to get my hands on this. It is just a really beautiful sort of beigey nude color. It's like slightly brown, slightly beige, but it's still light enough that you can wear it on an everyday basis without feeling like you have really vampy lips. I have it here swatched on the back of my hand. So as you can see, it does have a nice like sort of browny but ashy undertone to it. And the one thing I can say about it is that for me, I have to use a light, really light lip liner underneath of it. I use usually this Makeup Forever 22C. It's a really light pink, because for me, a lot of these liquid lipsticks like oxidize and get really, really dark on my lips compared to how they are in the tube. So like this color would be ideal, but it gets much darker than that, especially if I don't use a lip liner. So I use a really light lip liner underneath of it, and it helps keep the color nice and bright, and it does add a little bit of pinkness to the color, which makes it even more wearable in my opinion. So that is Kat Von D Bow and Arrow. So the last item I want to talk about is a really expensive item, but it's really, really, really beautiful. This is the Chanel Les Beiges Healthy Glow Powder, or Healthy Glow Sheer Color Powder. So it looks like this. It's in this sort of cream colored casing, which is different from the rest of the Chanel line. It's usually fully black, but all of the Les Beiges line is in this sort of cream colored casing. So when you open it up, you have a little half moon brush there, and then you just take that out, and then you have the product in here. So I think there's 8 different colors or 7 different colors. The first 2 colors, 10 and 20, are more of like regular setting powders. So they're supposed to be sort of translucent on you. And then the rest of them can be used as sort of bronzers or contour sort of colors. But they are so beautiful and light. So it's a really, really light powder that you can really build up. I have mine in number 30, so this is the first of sort of the darker, warmer shades. Obviously, if you have a much deeper skin tone than me, this would be a setting powder on you. But for me, this is just a really natural bronze color. I'm wearing this as my bronzer today. And as I am sort of pale, I feel like it's really easy to go overboard with the bronzer, especially if I'm going to use contour over it. It can look really intense really quick. So I love how sheer and just really light this is. It gives you that color, but it's almost like you don't have the powder on your skin. So it's almost like using a cream product, but it's not. It's a powder, so it's really easy to work with in that sense. I'll try and swatch it for you. You probably won't see it because it is just so light. I'm going to do it right up here. So as you can see, it's a really light powder, and it's only about like 2 shades darker than my own skin tone. And it is a warm undertone to it, so that just makes it like the perfect bronzer for me. So I got mine at Macy's, and I think it retails for $50 or something outrageous like that. It is really expensive, but compared to all my other bronzers, this is what I gravitate towards now because it's just so easy to wear, and you can just throw it on and build it up without ever looking like you've overdone it. So I just highly, highly recommend this Les Beiges powder. And there is a pretty good selection of colors, so love that. So yeah, those are my 10 monthly favorites for the month of February. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found something you might want to try yourself. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or any video suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope you guys have a super great day, night, wherever you are, and stay tuned because I have a lot of awesome tutorials coming your way. Bye!